So when you're talking to Terry and he says, all right, we've got Worf. It's my favorite. We have Worf, and he's older. He's been meditating. He's become a connoisseur of chamomile teas. So what kind of questions were you asking Terry when it came to developing his, older, more advanced, handsome Klingon look?
Well, Worf is a unique scenario because it's Worf.
Yeah.
He's a
Everyone knows what
Klingon.
he looks like.
Yeah, we know what he looks like. We
Mhm.
know we can all. First, let me step back and say, I was a fan of Next Generation first, before I was designing. I was an industrial designer doing medical products and children's toys when I was watching Next Generation. So that's where I came from. So stepping into the privileged opportunity to design on the show, I wasn't thinking, how can I put my signature on this?
Mhm.
Now, we tried some things, we collectively on the Klingons in Discovery,
Mhm.
and some things worked and some things did not. But the most important thing, which I don't think I would have had to have had the Klingon Discovery experience to know this, but the most important thing about Worf was to have it be Worf.
Mhm.
And it was one of the Vincent van Dyke, who his company did the prosthetics, the master sculpture, and all the processing of the silicone, etc., hair work. Vincent and I have worked closely for quite some time, so our relationship and our dynamic is right on point. It's so good professionally and personally, but
Mhm.
professionally, we both fortunately are in alignment. So when it came to doing a new Klingon, because there was 2 Klingons that we were going to be doing, sort of background Klingons and Worf. So the background ones were the ones I was focused on initially because we knew Worf was going to be Worf.
Mhm.
So we thought, well, let's play with these background ones. And the goal at that point was, do not change the Klingons. Honor the Klingons. Do what they are supposed to be, the expectation. And we all knew what that was going to be.
Mhm.
And I thought, well, then creatively for me, that doesn't leave a whole lot of room to do something different. And that was not offensive to me. It was like, perfect. Because I don't need to put my spin on it. I really didn't. And this is kind of interesting because I've gotten a lot of queries about, and fortunately from a very positive point of view, we love Worf and how he turned
Oh,
out. How did you do that, Neville? It's like, I'll tell you exactly how I did it. I didn't do much,
yeah.
which is possibly why it's so successful. So it was really about making sure, and it starts with the person who owns Worf, and that is Mr. Dorn. That's his guy. That's his character. So even though Terry has his list of desires, and the narrative, the script, the story demands a certain shift in Worf's look, which some people love and some people don't. Hair's too gray. Okay, you'll never win,
No.
but and that's okay. But I'm not even trying to win. The most important thing was making sure that Michael Dorn was satisfied with what we were doing for him. So because of that, I focused on every single perfect moment, in my opinion, from the show with his makeup, and it changed from episode 1 to talking about the Next Generation. There was a hairstyle that was a specific shape that created iconography.
Seasons, yeah.
Yeah, and so you track that and you personally point to those things where it's like, I didn't really care for that as much as I like this. That's perfect. That's not as perfect. So you take all the good stuff, you reference the stuff that you didn't like as much, and you then tune that in. So at the end of the day, really all that Worf needed to be was a refined sculpture. And that wasn't me. That was Vincent van Dyke's studio. and newer materials and technologies that afford a more realistic look. So
Mhm.
realism in terms of the material that's glued to your face, but also in terms of performance, how the rubber complies to your gesticulation. And again, that was all Vincent Van Dyke and team. The hair, how well the hair is done, the punching of the eyebrows.
Yeah.
It was his beard, I think, for the most part. There might have been some augmentation. So it's one of those things where when I'm complimented, I appreciate it, but I want to make sure that that compliment is given to the right people, which is really Vincent Van Dyke, his team, and James McKinnon and his team with application, because all the greatest rubber in the world is irrelevant if you can't apply it
That's for
deftly
sure.
like they did. And again, Michael Dorn was the one who needed to approve it. I don't think technically that had to happen. I'm not sure of the parameters there, the protocol. But personally, I felt like if Michael's good with it, then we're good with it. And if Michael's good with it and the audience isn't good with it, they need to become good with it because it's Michael's call. It's his
Right.
character.
And I think as a big Trekker, a huge Star Trek fan, I think I could say that if Michael is okay with it, we're going to be okay with it because
Yeah. Yeah.
he's our Worf. He's Worf. He's Worf.
No one's going to protect it more than the actor that has lived it for years. So that made it the scariest makeup of all because of that. It's like we want to bring fresh new something, but it doesn't need to be different. The really where I contributed was more with Terry in that we were trying to come up with like an overall palette.
Okay.
How salt and pepper, how gray, how long, what kind of braid. Are there any details woven into his braids? Those kind of things were experiments and explorations.
I have a weird question. Maybe it's not a weird question, but um, he had like last we saw him, he had these beautiful waves. Was there a
Mhm.
discussion about getting rid of his wavy hair and then just going to the straight white?
There were many, and I wasn't part of them really. Um, I I don't have a great answer. I'm so sorry. I
It's
wish I had
okay.
like,
Oh,
well,
I'm a
let me tell you,
hairstylist. Of course,
there's
I'm
an
gonna.
amazing backstory. No, I got nothing. Other than I think they just wanted a tighter groom on him, a little bit more of a, this conversation about spirituality and, the Klingons are a fascinating
Oh yes.
alien culture to begin with. And I've I've done bald Klingons a whole lot,
Yeah.
to the chagrin of many, and I've always wanted to do something with hair that isn't, 80s, 90s rock. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just like, what can we do with the hair, but still have there be hair?
Hmm.
And when they were talking about doing braids, possible dreads,
Oh
we even referenced, ironically, Whoopi Goldberg's, um, the Whoopi Goldberg
yeah.
hair, not the Whoopi Goldberg from
Right.
Picard, because she's got such great dreads.
Hmm.
I thought, oh, maybe that's a way to go. So we explored all of it, and some of it was simply I did imagery, sent it off to Terry. Terry then shared it with the appropriate parties, probably Sir Patrick Stewart and then Michael Dorn, and they had opinions, and it just came back to me as like A and B. But the success of that is really Vincent and James, quite frankly.
Now you did the J.J. Abrams Trek, the Klingons for J.J. Abrams, which was
Mhm.
the what Discovery was based off of initially. Am I wrong? Like,
Technically, you're wrong.
okay,
No offense.
no, it's
The,
okay.
the only relationship between Discovery and JJ's was I was working on them,
Mhm.
but they were different. Now the bald thing was not my choice. On JJ's, God, did I even propose that? I can't remember whose idea it was, but let's be arrogant and assume it was me. Meaning I'll take the blame. When we set out to do the Klingons with JJ, I thought it would be cool to do hairless because we hadn't seen a whole lot of what the ridgy stuff could be. What happens past here?
Right.
It's been done, but I thought maybe we can evolve that. So in JJ's first one, the Klingons all wore helmets, so you never saw it. So what I was designing was underneath the helmet some hair. And I was like, okay, that's going to be an easy makeup to do by comparison.
Right.
So then when we got to Into Darkness, we discussed San's hair and thought, okay, let's explore that. And there was a lot of interesting exploration. I'm still proud of that work. It was some pretty cool looking ideas.
I thought it was very cool. And what you have going for you when it comes to changing Klingons is Deep Space Nine episode Trials and Tribulations. That's the first time it's mentioned. They're sitting there, Worf's got a hat on, they're back in time on the original, on the old Enterprise, on Kirk's Enterprise, and all the original Klingons are in this bar, and they're looking around like, where are all the Klingons? And Worf's like, there's some over there, and there's some over there, and Bashir and O'Brien are like, where? What are you talking about? He's like, those are Klingons. And they look back at Worf and they say, well, what happened? And he said,
we don't talk about
that. And then
that's always been my excuse when somebody asks me. I don't discuss it.
Don't discuss it. But then you have Enterprise try to discuss it because it was, the Klingons were trying to super soldier themselves.
Yeah.
Thanks to, the eugenics stuff with Khan and everything. So what you have going for you is that the Klingons have evolved several times in the past. So all you have to do is say, well, they're still evolving from that virus. So now they just look even more badass than this one. That's why.
Well,
you have two kinds of fans, ones that go for that and ones that don't.
Yeah. I mean, you're working with an alternative timeline too, the Kelvin timeline, which is not appealing to some.
Disney and Kathleen Kennedy are gonna get you!